If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Well, Dr. Ted Spears joins us this morning, and the Magic of Marble Festival is upon us, and doesn't seem like 11 years, but it has been just that.
Well, it seemed like only yesterday, but it has been 11 years, and we're just delighted with the progress that we've made in those 11 years, thanks to the support of the community and the city and Channel 47. It just gets to the point where hey, this is a natural thing to be doing.
Well, it's certainly a special event this year with the 200th birthday of the state of Alabama.
Absolutely, and we're closely tied to that because of General Jackson and his troops in the Indian Wars that opened up to all this country, bivouac down here on the Coosa River, and marble was discovered by his surgeon, Dr. Gant, who was just wandering around out in the woods looking, and kicked up some white stone. He knew it was marble, and after the war was over at Horseshoe Bend, and he went back to Tennessee, and then they opened this up, and the soldiers who served with Jackson got free land in this part of the country, and he picked out a part that he had found the marble, and so we're just really thankful for Ed Gant's thing, and of course it's still a registered city. They still got their charter and everything, but there's nothing out there but beautiful marble now.
That viewpoint out there on the Fayetteville Sylacauga Highway is something else.
A lot of us who live here don't think too much of it, but the visitors who come in and the tours that we have there, it's just really an exciting thing. And we've added some sidewalks out there so that the senior citizens and smaller children have a smoother place to walk and to view the original quarry hole, and that's the original pieces taken out of that particular quarry that we're looking at. So Emirates did us a great favor by providing that for us.
Alabama Bicentennial Magic of Marble Festival, April the 2nd through the 13th. Sylacauga, the Marble City, and you have some people just kind of yawn and say, marble. What's the big deal? It is a huge deal.
It surely is, and on the little kiosks out there, the information boards might be a better term, they list at least 3,500 different products that marble goes into, and whether you like it or not, if you take an Alka-Seltzer or Tums, it's almost pure calcium carbonate that comes from a place like that. But more importantly, if you don't ever have a sneeze and don't need that, if you eat bread, all of our flour has a little marble in it. So marble dust goes into flour just like flour dust does. And so every day when we eat breakfast or eat any bread anywhere, we're getting a part of the countryside in our stomachs.
So the 11th year of the Magic of Marble Festival's Alabama Bicentennial year, sponsored by the Alabama State Council on the Arts. What's different about this year?
Difference about this year is the biggest difference is we have additional things to do and getting additional recognition because of the Bicentennial. This is the 200. Alabama became a state in 1819, and so we're celebrating that. And so that's given us national attention because the Sylacauga Marble Festival is listed with the Bicentennial as a bicentennial event. So we're getting published all over the nation and in some foreign countries about the Marble Festival. So that's the biggest difference. And then, of course, we are slow learners, but we learn something every year. And we're doing a number of different things that we haven't done before.
How many sculptors this year?
Well, we've got 37 registered, and we cut off, this week I had to cut off registration because, the rule that we had, we'd want 15, at a minimum of 15 sculptors, and we could handle 30 very easily. So our top number was 30, and but we keep getting more good sculptors and more people who are interested in it and more people who are coming to Sylacauga to see us. That we've added a few, but we've reached the limits now, and so I took another one yesterday, Dale Chambliss, who started out with us and was here every year for a number of years and hadn't been back for 3 or 4. even though had closed the registration, when he sent in his application, we approved it immediately because he's an outstanding sculptor and an outstanding artist in every sense of the word.
You know, you mentioned the first name Dale, and I think of Dale Liner, a gentleman who really was a key component of the Magic of Marble Festival early on.
Yes, you know, Dale came to me early on, I think it was the second year, and I wanted to know. He said, you know, I'm a wood sculptor and I've done this. I'd like to try marble. And I asked him, where in the world have you been? And so he started with us, and he became a very important part of our operation, very useful in a number of ways. But most people don't realize that he made the transition from woodwork to marble in a short period of time, and has done some beautiful creations, or did some beautiful creations, and so had the one that we have a sample of in the library is a dog that he did, and we've sold that dog 4 or 5 times. He got commissions of people who came in and said, I want that. He said, well, you can't have that one, but we know the man who can do it for you. And we sent him to Dale, and he was helpful in so many ways, and he lived and breathed sculpting, so we just...
We certainly miss him, that is for sure.
Yeah. Really a great loss.
Dale passed away within the last year, and he'll be missed this year. Bluebell Park will be turned into a sculptor's haven in just a few days.
Yes, we've already got our tents. We'll have 2 40-foot tents and 2 Curtis Funeral Home tents. And that's enough room for the 37 sculptors. We'll probably have more things that we normally have. And when you look at the people there, the shot that you just showed, that's increasing every year. And I talked with Tracy yesterday, and she said that their increase, we've only got 2 slots left for tours. There's some people coming to the library to see the different sculpture that we have that is directly related to this Marble Festival. And the same thing is true of our tours to the quarries. I know that Mayor Heiger was in his office the other day and the phone rang, and it wiped out one tour altogether because there was about 30 people coming in and out, and that's a limit for one tour. So in one fell swoop, we filled up one day at Travel to the Quarry. So a lot of people who come, people from Birmingham, Huntsville, Gadsden area, Ellick City, Montgomery, they're using groups, and we've got one group, some senior citizens that's coming from Fairhope on the 6th, and they're bringing about 50-something people.
And that not only brings to the Marble Festival, but it enhances the whole city of Sylacauga.
Well, you know, one of the first questions they asked said, do you have any good places to eat? I said, you're coming to the right place. We've got plenty of places to eat. And so we refer them to the restaurants, and we got lists we can hand them. So they come here, they shop, they go to lunch, they buy gasoline. Some of them use the motels and stay overnight. So it's really good for Sylacauga. It's one thing that can ring the cash registers. This Mercury, the Roman messenger god. Explain. Well, in mythology, Mercury was the god of connections, for a better word. He was bringing good news to the people, and when you wanted news, the thing goes that he was the key between whatever was happening and what they wanted to happen, and he was able to do this in a marvelous manner. And of course, it all comes from the mind of the person who created him. But the people in that era had gods for almost everything. You know, the weather and the good fortune, bad fortune, and he was one of the good guys. He brought good news. I like the good news now. I do too. You're in the news business, so I can understand that. Talk about a sculptor or two that's going to be here that's going to bring some history with them. Well, right off the bat, our local sculptor, Craig Brown, will be there, and Craig has done a wonderful job of promoting himself and doing all sorts of exciting things. And he will be back. But one of our favorites is Frank Murphy, who was born here, graduated from Sylacauga High School, graduated in Montevallo in physical education, and became one of the great muralists in religious history, because he's done murals in churches all over the Southeast, and he's done religious paintings. And he came here and started sculpting with us, and his first creation was Rapunzel that he did with nothing but a hammer and a chisel, and it's on display down at the library.
That's amazing.
And as you know, he's an outstanding person. He's the sponsor for the Baptist Student Union at Berry College, and he takes kids to Africa and Central America and does all sorts of wonderful work and training to promote Christ and the Christianity in general. But he is just one fantastic person, and he will be back. And we have a piece that he did last year, the Resurrected Christ, and it is just one of the finest pieces that we have in the library. And so everybody looks forward to him. He's such a wonderful guy. But he goes back to Rome on every Thursday night to go to choir practice. He sings in the choir there. So he's not only working at Berry College, he's very instrumental in the musical part of the community there in Rome. And I just hate him. You know, he's a great painter, a great sculptor, and he sings. I don't know whether he dances or not, but if he decided he wanted to, he could.
Probably so. The Italian sculptors that have come here in the past, when they come, they are shown really Southern hospitality.
You know, they're amazed at how friendly the people are. You know, of course, Italians I don't know what they would expect, but as far as Sylacauga goes, they're just really excited about coming, and they like to ride around there. They're fascinated with the trees, especially the pine trees, and Lord, do we have pine trees. We take them out into the Talladega Forest just to ride out the highway toward Millville, and they're amazed at that. And but the thing that really attracts their attention is the camaraderie that we have with people from another country, and how well we welcome them, and they're just delighted. And this year, to add to the things, at Marcello, we worked out a deal with the State Arts Council and the mayor of Montgomery for Marcello to do a symposium at the Montgomery Museum of Modern Art. And so on April the 1st, we'll be taking him down there, and they're having the symposium and a reception afterwards. And I noticed yesterday that the State Arts Council and the City of Montgomery was advertising it to all their people to come and see the Sylacauga sculptor and the Italian sculptor that's from Sylacauga. But we're getting credit for the artistic endeavors of the City of Montgomery, and through the State Arts Council. And so we're delighted with that, and that makes us a more attractive place for the other sculptors there in Italy. When Valentina and her group at the museum there is asking people, do you want to go to Sylacauga? When they find out that the venue includes a visit to the state capitol, guests to the City of Montgomery, guests to the State Arts Council, they look at us with, hey, I'm going to go there. And Sylacauga becomes a destination place rather than just a stopover point.
Yeah. Our children in our schools, they are involved with the Magic of Marble Festival and teaching them at a young age. You look at the pieces of marble, and how these guys with hardly little but their mind and a couple of tools make something out of nothing.
Yeah, the one thing that we added a year or so back was the NEMAC art contest. And what we asked the schools to do, all the fourth grades where Alabama history is taught, we ask them to, and we allow anybody in the kindergarten through elementary school to participate. The schools, Sycamore, Fayetteville, the schools here, the Sylacauga, Comer, and Knollwood School, they all participate. And we ask them to have the students create on paper either with pencil or paint or whatever, and whatever medium they use, and give their impression of what marble is, what it means to the community. I mean, you get some of the most unusual stuff, things that we'd never think of, but at the same time the most beautiful. And I promise you that we're creating a number of artists at an early age that will go on to be proficient in adulthood. So we're just thrilled with that. And the schools that we give first, second, and third place prizes, the winning teacher gets money to buy more materials, and we have a reward system that helps them up. And I know that I had one father stop me on the street down here, and he said, "You know what? That marble contest that y'all had with those posters, just fabulous. My kid got in the car last night and said," he was shaking his head, "Look, Daddy, I got a check." I'm already making money in the fourth grade.
All right. My grandson, who's in the third grade, they have a field trip coming up that ties with the magic of marble, and he's got it circled on his calendar when they're going, all the stops they're going to make. So it involves our youth, it involves our seniors, and it involves you, the viewer, and to spread the word about the Alabama Bicentennial Magic of Marble Festival, April the 2nd through the 13th. And Ted, one good thing about it, it's all free.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We've had great support from the industrial and business community, especially the quarries, Emery's, Amya, and Sylacauga Marble. They support us very heavily. And then, throughout the town, we've got other people that finish. And, I've just been thrilled with the support of the city of Sylacauga. Mm-hmm. They help us in every way in providing for special things at the park, and help, and Reed Calfrey and his group of men just are invaluable. And the city's bought into it, and that's what has kept us being able to improve each year, is the wonderful support that we get from the mayor and the city council. And Mayor Heigl has been on the Marble Festival Committee since its inception. Right. And so he, even as a city councilman and later as mayor, when he was mayor for a short time, and now he's back as mayor, and we don't have to worry about explaining to him what it's all about. He was there while we were building it.
So we're talking with Ted Spears of the Magic of Marble Festival in its 11th year. Before we go this morning, a couple of other notes. We mentioned early on about the tours. Are those all booked up, or we still have any?
We have some tours. The one that I talked about, maybe I shouldn't have said it was closed out. We can take 30 people per tour, and we get 2 tours to Emers and 2 to Amya and 2 to Sylacauga Marble, although we added that third one, Sylacauga Marble, because that's where the dimensional stone is. They just need to call the mayor's office. They register at the mayor's office, and we have a bus that picks them up there, and it's a free tour. We have it well in line, and it's been a very popular sort of thing. And the quarries cooperate, and they have little tidbits and gifts, and give little tours and answer questions and let people know how important the marble industry is to this community. And I don't think it's a secret anymore that I know that 4 out of the last 5 major industries to locate in Sylacauga came here because of the marble. Mm-hmm. They want to be close to the source of the mineral that they were using in their particular product.
Employment, is huge, tying to the marble industry.
Absolutely. It's something, and we don't have to worry about them closing down and moving offshore, because there's no way to move the quarries, and that is just a beautiful asset that Sylacauga has, and we're just trying to reestablish the identity of Sylacauga as the marble city. We got kind of careless as a city and an area, but not anymore.
Finally, this morning, people have asked me in past years, and even as we get closer to the event this year, beginning April 2nd, are there going to be marble pieces, bookmarks, and that kind of stuff for sale?
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I might have forgotten it. But the Hightower room is in the library, and when we send out and as the people register, as the sculptors register, we ask them to bring at least 5 pieces, small pieces we could put on a table, or pieces that could be handled easily, and will be for sale there in the Hightower room. And that's been a very popular event. A lot of people just come to walk through that and to see what they can.
You get necklaces
buy.
and
necklaces,
that kind of stuff?
Pendants, figurines, small statues of things, and it's just wonderful to see what they do. And I know that my daughter, who comes in to help on the Marble Festival every year, she lives in Vancouver, Washington, and she comes to visit Shirley and me, and she works with us, and she's just fascinated. She bought last year 2 fish. We had a sculptor by the name of Larry Bottomley from the Atlanta area, a retired professor from Georgia Tech, who comes every year. His specialty is fish, and it's just a beautiful piece of marble to go on a coffee table or a mantle or any other showy place that a person has in his house or business. And so Larry has been he's a real fisherman, apparently, a marble fisherman. And I never thought I'd use the term, but he does beautiful work. And so that's just an event, and all 30 of them have a unique talent, and they make things that they think is really wonderful, and they put them on sale. And so it's a very popular event. The marble room is open for sale on daily from about 9 to 5, and then later on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and we open Saturday morning until noon. So we get a lot of traffic just coming to look at what people can do with a piece of marble and a chisel and a hammer.
It's amazing. Ted Spears, our guest this morning. The Alabama Bicentennial Magic of Marble Festival, slated for April 2nd through the 13th in downtown Sylacauga. And we look forward to that, sponsored by the Alabama State Council on the Arts. And Ted, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity.
All right, more Daybreak right after this.